Welcome to Breaking the Chains. I am Bakita, and today I have a special guest from Sierra Leone, or coming from Sierra Leone. If you are new to my channel, be sure to subscribe, like, share. Let's get people watching these videos so they can know what it's like to repatriate to Africa. So, Kenya, can you please, Malinke, please, which one would you like for me to call you, Kenya or Malinke?
Either one.
All right. So, I would like for you to introduce yourself, and we'll take our conversation from there.
Greetings, everyone. I am Kenya Malinke Mansaray. I am a native from Chicago, Illinois. I made my repatriation to Sierra Leone in 2015. So I'll be creeping up to my 7th year in December 3rd to be exact.
Wow, 7 years on the continent.
I can't believe it. No, I haven't.
Wow.
I was planning on going back actually in 2020, but the whole COVID thing happened. So that kind of postponed me. And I was like, mate, I'm cool over here. My family gonna have to understand. People are still getting COVID, it was crazy. So I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm gonna stay put until once everything cooled down. But it seems like all kind of other stuff is going on now, like monkeypox, and they said new form of polio that came from the vaccinations. And I'm like, wait,
it's like, so if it ain't one thing, it's like 2 or 3 more things. So and
it's so cool, and it's just so like cool here. It would make sense for me to go into like a battleground for nothing when I don't have have to. Right.
If you don't have to, Chad, I tell people, if you do not have to, don't come. This place is like a succubus. You get sucked in, and it's hard to get back up out of here.
That's true.
So, you are in Sierra Leone.
I am.
A lot of people choose other places. We're not going to say, but they choose other places, like where I reside when I'm in Africa. But what made you choose Sierra Leone?
Well, first and foremost, I was like many other diaspora Africans. I was looking to visit, especially on my first visit. The first place I ever had in mind to come to was Kenya. Of course, that's my name.
Yeah.
And my older cousin was married to a Kenyan. So that was up my alley. So, cause I was able to like learn the culture, learn some dishes. She gave me my first head wrap when I was a teenager and stuff like that. So I always kind of looked to East Africa. And then as time went on, I looked to places like Ghana, of course, and Nigeria. But I've been a community organizer and activist. I was in radio back in the days and things like that, and that's how I met my husband. So he was actually the first person to actually introduce me to Sierra Leone as a prospect to come to. Of course, he wasn't my husband back then, but that's what he was on.
So speaking of your husband, who is your husband?
My husband is Chief Fode Ajamu Mansaray. Some of you might know him on Facebook as Mansa Ajamu, Fode Ajamu. He's been a repatriate here 10 years. So yeah.
That is so cool. I've interviewed Chief, and it was
an amazing
interview. So if you haven't seen my interview with Chief Fode, it is in my videos. I'll link it in the description here, and you can check that out. But today we're gonna focus on Miss Chief. And So one of the main things that I've noticed about people wanting to move to Africa is people tend to have a hard time figuring out where to go. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that Fode helped you to decide, okay, Sierra Leone. Why was Sierra Leone the place that he suggested?
Okay, first and foremost, there's a few reasons why he wanted to come to Sierra Leone. First and foremost, he's a Gullah Geechee. And if you're familiar with Gullah Geechee people, you know that their root or their origins of being Gullah, which here is Gola, or Geechee, there is Gizzy here. The root of the Gullah Geechee come from Sierra Leone. So he known that, you know, from the history, that was one of the things. And then he actually got to join an organization and work with members of grassroots organizations here. So he did that about 6 to 7 years before he actually repatriated. So he had a long history with the people of Sierra Leone, culturally, historically, and a working relationship as well. So it was an idea for him to come here. So he built a relationship and a base and had support and things like that. So it made sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So 2015, you decide, all right, I'm going to Africa, right?
No.
No.
It was about a year and a half before that. I was actually supposed to be here a year before I actually repatriated. About a little over a year before I repatriated, I was preparing. But Ebola happened. That was in 2014.
Yeah.
So when the Ebola happened, that stopped all my plans. Everybody from America ran back. But you know that we're organizers. We have an organization. You see in the back is Basani, the Black Star Action Network International. And so Chief decided to stay here, and he actually did a lot of, we did a lot of sensitization to what Ebola was. A lot of people from here, especially in West Africa, I learned about Ebola when I was a teen, you know, watching a documentary in high school. A lot of people here never heard of the word. They didn't understand what it was, how you can, contract it or anything like that. So he used hip hop to do a sensitization campaign in Sierra Leone, also in Conakry, Guinea.
Oh,
so,
cool.
So we actually just worked. We just continued to work and chose to sensitize the communities. And ironically, the communities that he was working with didn't have a case of Ebola. They, they had little sayings like ABC, avoid body contact, bind me, but don't, touch me. They greet me, but don't touch me, and things like that. Keep your distance. And, so it was like sensitization like that allowed the people to protect themselves from Ebola. Mm-hmm. And of course, down the line with COVID, everybody was prepared when COVID hit.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So after Ebola, after the initial stuff passed over, you were able to come on and
so the Ebola halted my plans to repatriate, but I was still preparing everything. So when Ebola was declared gone here, I was here 3 weeks later.
Okay. So what
I was here 3 weeks later.
What did you do to prepare to make this move?
Okay. First and foremost, have a connection. Of course, my husband was here, so he was building organizations, and I was doing a lot of different projects and programs with the local people. So we got familiar with one another. I got to know them through the work, and they got to know me through the work and support and things like that. So actually, when I came here, everybody knew me. Everybody knew my name, they knew my face, they knew my work, they knew I was the one that was helping with the support and the fundraising, things like that. So it was actually an easy transition. So it really made it easy for me. Number one, building a relationship, knowing someone. And I was actually lucky. A lot of people don't have the honor to, actually know somebody that's a mate, they have your total best interest at heart. That's not going to steer you wrong, because a lot of times people, we had our share of scammers and things like that, and we're not immune from it. But it was good that my husband was here, so he was able to guide me through and let me, help me understand the culture and things like that, because he had almost a 3-year head start, so it was easier for me. So knowing somebody, getting familiar, I would recommend that anybody out there, if you know there's a cause in the country that you want to repatriate to, support. That's the number one way. Support them. They will respect you. They, will honor you when you get here, and they're gonna have your best interests at heart as well, because you're on the same mission as them. So have that support, have that relationship, and do some research. Get to know the people so you can understand when you get here. So I was able to know a little of the local language, and when I got here, so I was able to communicate a bit. I knew what to expect and things like that. So I was, prepared.
Okay. So you were explaining why we have to build relationships and finding an organization. So let's talk about why finding an organization would be beneficial.
Okay. First and foremost, the organization is a organization. It's an entity that has hierarchy, rules, regulations, and things like that. So you want to align yourself with an organization that has a cause that you believe in first and foremost, and then it will allow you to build or build relationships with a diverse set of people. A lot of times you're meeting an individual and things like that, or maybe a specific tribe and things like that. But if you're joining an organization, is a body where people from different backgrounds, different tribes, different religions are coming together for a cause that they believe in, and they're giving their time voluntarily. So for you to be on the outside coming in to assist them, it will allow you to build more genuine relationship around something that you guys believe in. You understand? And if something was to happen to you within that organization, they're going to be most likely held accountable versus a person you just meet on Facebook, talking to, going down there and something happened. Who's held accountable? You understand? So if you become a member of an organization, there's a set of rules and regulations that you and them have to abide by. It's to safeguard you and give back at the same time and build relationships.
That I like that you brought that up. There's a lot of organizations in different
a whole lot
of them. Yes. So how would you suggest someone would be able to determine if an organization is one that they should deal with? Like, because it's, as we know, it's so many. Like,
there's so many.
So how do we know who to trust? What organization to trust?
Well, you really have to do your research first and foremost. If they're doing the work, you're going to have a paper trail or a proof of concept of the work that they're doing. Sometimes they're local, sometimes they're, NGOs. NGOs are actually foreign entities that's coming in, but there's a lot of local organizations that's attached to bigger NGOs. Right. So sometimes there's American organizations that is sponsoring a school in Ghana, or just say, for instance, you'll see that this bigger organization has people that's on the ground that's working with them, that has a relationship with them. They have rules and regulations as well. It's not always like that. It's really not cut and dry. I can't really tell you. I can tell you some things to look for, but follow your heart. Look for the structure. Look how they're moving within the organization. If they're all over the place and, you know, not in formation and things like that, it's really unprofessional. You want to really get with people that's welcoming and that's focused on the work. If they're focused on a girlfriend or a boyfriend, or, you know, that's being really inappropriate, I would stay away from that. You understand? But I would try to look for organizations that's grassroots, because they're making the most of the biggest social impact. Exactly. And they need it the most. They really need it their most. A lot of organizations that have foreign sponsors, you know, don't really need as much help as a grassroots organization. So that's what our organization Basani did when my husband first got here. Within 2 weeks, he was, you know, calling a meeting with the different organizers within the community, and they were working together. He within 1 to 2 months, they were partnering with you know, youth that had water programs, that had gyms, and he was showing them how to organize and showing them how to actually put their money together for events to actually make money to support their initiatives and things like that. They really appreciate it because no one is really coming out to give them this knowledge. They don't want you to be self-sustainable. And to this day, the knowledge that he passed on to them, they still use it. The gym is still there. The water program has been improved. If we were able to run the gym and the water program throughout Ebola, you know, you know, the water program serviced thousands of people. So that's big, you know.
Yeah, that is big. That is big. You know, when doing these, having these conversations, I'm always intrigued by what the comment section looks like. My comment section is always off the chain. So a lot of times our continental brothers and sisters don't seem to understand why we choose to leave this place and come to that place. You know, there's so many of them on that side who are trying to come here, and they look at us like we're crazy because we want to come to Africa. And a lot of times I see people, they make all kinds of assumptions about why we may not be adjusting as quickly or whatever the case may be. What has been the most challenging part of your adjusting to living in Africa or in Sierra Leone specifically?
The most challenging part for me is to just break my old habits. I'm a naturally like an introvert, and you know, I'm not like I can be that on schedule, like if I have to go to an event or things like that. But I like to go, you know, be home a lot. And one of the things, a lot of people here, they're very social. You know what I'm saying? So you can get people that want to come visit you every day, that want to come, you know, learn from you and talk to you. And so that's an adjustment because I wasn't used to, and my husband being who he is, he's a mentor to a lot of youth. So I had to adjust to a lot of youth coming to, you know, to the house and things like that. it was it was a good thing and adjustment for me. It was good because I got I had a vast amount of people that I was meeting so much, and I was learning new things. They were teaching me new things, and I can, talk about ideas and help assist and things like that. So that was a major adjustment for me.
Mm-hmm.
I would think a lot of people here, a lot of Americans are much more like me and you. We kind of like keep to ourselves and things like that, and have a simple life outside of. And when I was doing like community volunteerism in America, it was like scheduled. I wasn't really involved in much of the organizing. Being an organizer is a whole different thing than just coming in and doing a task that you got to do it for a few hours. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
It's a whole different thing. And my husband, he's a trained organizer. He just actually retired from community organizing this year after 23 years. So
oh, wow.
So he's serious. If y'all see Chief is serious about what he
don't play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the personality you guys see is who he is. Plus 1,000. Like he's so funny, he's so cool and things like that, but he don't play. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm a free spirit, so to learn more discipline, to have somebody around that keep you on task, and I didn't have that. I was really free to do and things but I couldn't grow like that. I noticed that I have grown a lot more since I've been on this journey, and I can't thank nobody but him.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's so sweet. So what has been the best part about living in Sierra Leone?
Oh my God, the people just like, I don't even know how to describe it. Just being able to see how Africans do it and see, they call us ratchet in America and we do this. So ratchet equals African. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I get it. They want us to act more European. And when I first got here, I used to complain. Another adjustment. Everybody is late. Everybody is late. Everybody is not punctual. Here they call it Black man time. And so I remember I used to complain. Oh, I'm looking at they're late for the meeting and all that time. They was like, oh, that's white people stuff. We call it color people time. We call it CP time.
Yeah, we call it CP time.
They call it Black man time here. Yeah, exactly. They say this is Black man. You got to understand Black man time. I said Black man. I'm not Black man time. Okay, I understand now. So it was really adjusting to them because I used to be frustrated for that, those reasons like that. But it's cultural. So you're gonna just frustrate yourself if you don't. Okay, I could be late too. That's how y'all want to do it.
Right.
I could be late.
Exactly.
I can get with it.
Exactly.
In America, they know how to get down in America.
Right. It's funny because like it's so many things that we don't realize. Like you said, they call it ratchet here, but it's really it's quite African. But I think one of the things that kind of gets me is it always seemed like, for whatever reason, from what I've noticed, it seemed like a lot of the continental Africans don't even realize like how much of what we do has carried on for these last 400 years.
Yes.
Like we held on really tight to who we are, and but they try to treat us like foreigners. How has that been? Have you been in Sierra Leone? Do they have a thing where they treat you all like foreigners, or did you have to go through a time period like that?
Okay, so when I first got here, I was so sensitive to everything. A lot of times when you're a new face, you get an American accent, especially in the marketplace. You have to have someone that's there with you that's not gonna let you get robbed. You know what I'm saying? And so you don't know the market value of the local price on the market for something. Maybe the person that's with you may know, or if they're not familiar with the item, or they might not know themselves. So you're at the mercy of the person that's selling to you. You have to talk price. So that's an African thing, bargaining. We call it bargaining, or
negotiate,
negotiating, haggling.
Everywhere I've been in Africa is you always got to negotiate.
Exactly. So if you don't know that, they'll tell you one price and you will just go with that price and be overpaying for everything. And I remember when I first got here, I would be so upset. I'll make long posts about it on Facebook. Oh yeah, I found out she overcharged me for this. That's not right. First and foremost, you got to understand, a lot of times, especially if you're not in a tourist location, they're not used to seeing people that's like straight from America. So they think this is a grab bag. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to get a few more coins in my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But once you realize what happened, what's happening, and you're literally in the community, you'll see they start trying to make up for it because they know they got you before. You know what I'm saying? Once they know that, they become your friend.
Give you a little.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So I start understanding like the culture a little bit more. I had to start really understanding how to get that.
It's funny that you mentioned that because in Ghana, like they call it dash, like they'll dash you some stuff. So like if I'm in the market and I'm buying some stuff, she may give me a few things for free. And I did realize that, she was getting me in the beginning. She just making up for that.
Exactly. I started learning the game. I was like, okay, you extra not. Mm-hmm.
You gotta learn
like you stand. Please make sure you if you see the person that's with you, if they letting you get rid of them. They probably getting they cut. They probably taking you to the people that's gonna cut you, so they can get their cut at the end. So be careful with that. Don't just depend on one person and ask around. Ask around. Hey, how much is this on the market? They'll give you a roundabout, fair price. And then you really paid, and you tell them you paid that, they start gasping for air. They can't believe it. Who let you pay for that? Yes. Be careful. Be careful because you are very vulnerable in places that you're unfamiliar with.
Right. And see, that's the thing that I don't think most people even think about is how vulnerable it is to make this journey. We put ourselves in a really vulnerable position. So, I see a lot of, especially in my comments, they're always going, well, y'all want America in Africa and y'all want, and it's not that people want America in Africa. We don't want to be, I think we have we have a vision of what we think it's going to be like, right?
Yeah, that's bad.
You think it's going to be this brotherly, sisterly event the entire from the time you get off the plane. And yes, people are nice to you, people are welcoming and all of that stuff, but people are also getting you for your coins too. They find a way, and then you start feeling a little like, why would they do me like that?
Yes, you take it personal.
We take it so personal, because for us, it's like I'm in Africa.
Mm-hmm. This is home. I'm your people. I'm not white. I'm not the white man.
Don't do me like that. And you know, it does become and I don't. So on one of my videos, one of the sisters was saying how the reason why she didn't stay in Ghana was because the mentality of the people she just couldn't understand. And that was one of the things that she was referring to when she was talking about that mentality of seeing us as outsiders. When we don't see ourselves as an outsider, we don't come to Africa for the same reason that the other people come to Africa. And
exactly.
you know, I hear people, oftentimes people are saying like, oh, well, the Asians or the Lebanese and these people and that people, the Europeans, they all come and they do fine in Africa. Yeah, they do fine in Africa because they didn't come to the Africa for the same reason that we came to Africa. They didn't come to Africa.
And they got a base.
Exactly.
And they got people that they're ushering into a whole system that they've been building for 200-300 years. Asians and Lebanese been here at least 100 years. We know the white man been here for at least 4, 3, 4.
I know one Lebanese guy who has been in Ghana. He says, "Oh, I'm not Ghanaian. I'm Gold Coastian," because he's been in Ghana since before independence.
It was Ghana.
Yeah, before it was Ghana. He's like, I'm Gold Coastian. He speaks better Tree than a lot of even Ghanaians speak. But they don't come for the same reason that we're coming
at all.
You know, they have, and can you help me to explain to our people, why are we coming to Africa? Why?
Well, first and foremost, we're African. Africa is our home and we belong there. We went out by force. We didn't go to immigrate for a better economic opportunity. They took us from Africa to expand their economic opportunity off our ancestors' backs. And we're still not even second-class citizens. We're tired. We've been fighting with them for hundreds of years. Even the opportunities that continental Africans have coming to America, we fought for those opportunities that they're, just going into. We don't feel like that's our home, If we had a choice, we would be here in Africa. That's why some of us are coming back. If you feel like you want to go to America, I would advise you, if you go, have a plan to come back and give back. Don't just go and make money and don't come back. You understand?
Right.
That's defeating the purpose.
Right. So, I think that I really want our continental Africans to understand that coming to Africa is not the same as them coming to America. It's totally different. It is.
First of all, there's no social system, financial, anything set up for us. Nothing. We have to start from scratch when we come to Africa. Literally. There's no jobs. We got to pay for anything. There's no food stamps or any other social benefits that you can get when you go to America. There's none of that in Africa. You really have to build relationships with people to really get the support that you need when you're here. It's way different. They can avoid us when they get there and completely depend on the system. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's the opposite for us. We're at the mercy of our brothers and sisters when we get here. So that's why I say it's best when you come back to have building an actual relationship that you guys have been forging that's outside of your personal self that you can unite on. Right.
I totally agree. And I appreciate you going down that rabbit hole with me because it's something that has been coming up a lot. And I see that when I see the comments, I'm like, they don't understand. They don't understand why why would I choose? I'm off the top of my head, I know 4 doctors, 2 lawyers, and 3 engineers who have left everything here and moved to Africa. If things were so amazing here for us, we know doctors make really good money, lawyers make really good money. If it was
engineers make really good money,
engineers make really good money. Why would they be? Why do you think they're leaving? Like, I don't understand why our people don't get it, but that's neither here nor there.
They won't. Yeah, they won't. It's really our job to make them understand why people like us want to come back. Everybody don't want to come back, and that's fine. But the people that do come back, we have to allow them to understand why we chose to come back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because we meet people every day that want to go to America.
Yeah. Oh my God. Everybody I come in contact with. But
right.
Now, recently, I've been bombarded with the idea that for whatever reason, people think that we come to Africa and we don't try to learn the language. We don't do it's like there's been this concerted
effort. Yeah, it's not true.
To try to keep that wedge in between us and the continental Africans. But how have you been doing with language in Sierra Leone? What's that look like for you?
Language in Sierra Leone is Creole. So it's a English-based African mix. So when I first came here, I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear it was like I was listening to Spanish. And I would be at home and listening to the people, like the children playing or something, or adult male saying something real fast. And my ears were tricking me into thinking that I heard some English. Like, it was crazy. But, I'm still learning, you know what I'm saying? I can hear it clear, but to talk it is a different thing for me. So, but I get by, a lot of people are surprised, especially when you're out and about and they think you're just an American, just got here, and they trying to charge you up and you get right with them and they're like, oh I can't get her.
It's actually from my experience, I think it's even more it brings you closer in when you can at least respond to something.
Exactly. Yes. They really wait. I have a story I want to say real quick. So there's a place here called the Big Market. The Big Market have a lot of indigenous handmade, garments, shoes, pottery, pitch paintings, and things like that. And they also have a lot of traditional medicine. They have like the little stand that they have in the front. And so I'm not new to the Big Market. A lot of times when we have tours or guests that's coming in, that's the number one place we take them. So I use the moringa seed, like to help assist with like malaria and things like that. So during the rainy season, the seeds are no good. They're too wet. They're not usable. So I was taking someone to the Big Market and wanted to purchase some moringa seeds. And I know here in Sierra Leone, you just need to know somebody with a tree to get it. It's free. It's free 99. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I remember the woman was trying to get me to buy her moringa seeds for like 3 times a fair price. She thought I was JC from America. You know what I'm saying? I'm from there, but I've been here. She didn't know that. And so she her friend tried to back her up into co-signing the price was a fair price. I said, so the woman was like, here, I want to take them for 50,000, take them for 30. So I said, say, I will forget them from the tree. I will forget them from the tree. And she said, the woman, her friend said, so how you going to get up there? I said, with me, Bobo, like you, Bobo. She said, she Sabi. Yeah, you're climbing up the tree. You have your little boy go and get yours like I have him get mine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I walked away with my Malinke seeds 2 packs for 20,000 because she was trying to charge me 50,000 for one.
Wow.
So exactly. And so the woman had to tell her, hey, she our sister. Like, you messing up because you trying to overcharge her.
Yeah.
So she I'll come often. A lot of the sellers know me because I've come here, every few months with the people and new people and things. So she had to let her know, like, hey, you can't get her.
Yeah. Speaking of tours and stuff, how is it like? Are you starting to see more of us looking towards Sierra Leone and coming there?
A whole lot. It was not like that when I came here or when I wanted to look at Sierra Leone. I met my husband in 2012, and I actually first interviewed him talking about the work he was doing in Sierra Leone. So that made me interested to actually want to learn more about Sierra Leone. You couldn't find anything outside of the war, amputees, all kind of negative things. And it's totally changed. Yeah. I know because I always searched on YouTube and places trying to get an understanding of Sierra Leone outside of what he was able to tell me. And he always said, you got to come here. I can tell you so much that you will understand from me explaining it to you, but the experience is totally different,
So what you saying, and I want to hang out right here for a minute, because a lot of times I hear people saying, oh, you need to do your this person didn't do no research. They didn't do no research. And I'm like, there's only so much research that you can do on these countries, especially these small countries. There's not a lot of information. Mm-hmm. You learn, you can get like the language, what religion is the most popular. Like, you get basic things.
General, exactly.
You don't get real information that you're gonna need for repatriation. And I don't think people understand that repatriation and relocating are not
different.
The same. So it's like I keep seeing people, oh, this person didn't do no research. You didn't do no research. Yeah, people are doing all of the research they can. If I type in Sierra Leone right now, there's still not a lot of information that comes up. So I would have
there's a lot more.
More than it was.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of the popular YouTubers who's just now coming to Sierra Leone within the last 3 years, I would say. And they're only coming from a tourist perspective, and you're not really getting the authentic information outside, because sometimes their guides are not vast in their knowledge to actually speak on certain subjects and things like that. Right. And I've seen that with some YouTube channels, and I'm like, oh my God, why they're asking those questions to that person? He just came up to the city 2-3 years ago. He hasn't had enough experience in a city to make that type of, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I think really. I think one of the things I really want our people who have not made this journey to understand is that, first of all, this is a big undertaking for anybody. When you decide to we're leaving our family, because most of the time your family ain't coming with you. So you're leaving your
and
family.
a lot of times they kind of reluctant for you to go. You know, so you're gonna have a lot of
you got a lot of naysayers. So for people to what most continental Africans don't even understand is that when one of us actually decides to get on the airplane and fly to Africa, it's been so many things that somebody has tried, several things that's tried to stop us from doing it. It's not a common thing. Like, people think that this is it's still not common. If I go out here in my neighborhood right now and I ask everybody on my street who want to move to Africa, I can guarantee you that maybe 2-3% of the people are going to be like, oh yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
And
that's
only because I live in Atlanta. Okay. I can find those people, and
their culture. Yeah, they're cultured. Yeah, they're more culturally diverse.
But for the most part, still nobody wants to move to Africa. Not us. So those of us who are doing it, it's a brave move to make. And I take my hat off to anybody who even gets on the plane and goes to visit, because I still get questions like, I'm going into the Serengeti. I'm like, do you see lions? Do you see tigers? First of all, tigers are not in Africa. Tigers are in Asia. So what are you talking about? And like, do you you get the most bizarre.
Wait, I heard before I came, are you gonna live in a hut? Are you serious? Am I gonna live in a hut?
I seen a question.
Full-grown 30-year-old woman asked me that.
I had a question recently. Somebody asked, do y'all have to hunt for y'all food? Huh? What? Do we have to hunt for our food? Okay. And I'm saying that all to say, I really want to also use my channel because there's a lot of continentals who watch my channel, and I want to use this channel to also educate them on the whys, because for whatever reason, a lot of people just can't even wrap their mind around why we would want to come to Africa, why we would want to come to these developing nations. We know that there's water issues and power issues and all kinds of issues. Why would we want to leave this small heaven for that? And the answer for us, for the most of us, is because we want peace of mind, for one.
Peace, yes.
Peace. People do not understand how valuable peace of mind is. And I've come to the realization that if we as Africans born in America, descendants of enslaved people and descendants of people who have basically been wiped out here in this country, if we can do what we've done here under the stress, the strain, the anxiety, the depression, all of the trauma,
PTSD, exactly.
Like, we have genetic PTSD. And we can do that. What could we do if we actually just had a peace of mind, had time to get all of this off of us and create from a space of peace? What could we do? How we could do so much more. So I don't think people understand how valuable a peace of mind is for us.
Exactly.
And everybody that I know who has made the repatriation journey have always talked about it's the peace of mind that come with it. And everybody who are like me, I know several people who do the back and forth. Like, I live a bicontinental life. That was my choice from the beginning, that we would go back and forth for a while until we felt like being in Africa we could sustain that full time with all of these little bitty children we have. But that's neither here nor there. It's hard being here because I know what it feels like to truly be free.
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
People think that because we live in the so-called best country in the world, which I don't feel like it is.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it has its perks, don't get me wrong, but it's still not, to me, better than living in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And literally every single day when I wake up, I'll be like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Right.
My husband is in Ghana, and we're doing, working on things, trying to get things in order so we can spend most of our time there and come here to visit.
Right.
But people, our continental people do not seem to understand that it takes a special kind of person, first of all, to decide to leave here and go there. That's one. Two, to get there and be able to stay like you have. It's not easy to just stay. You got money issues, because where you going? I mean, really, where will you work?
Right.
And how much money are you going to make doing that work?
Right.
Then
that's true.
All of the challenges. So like right now is rainy season there. And while I love rainy season comes with a lot of challenges.
It does.
You can't know those challenges unless you've lived there.
Yeah, exactly.
So like when me and you started talking, what were the challenges that we were having, because it's rainy season and it was basically monsoon raining outside, so
exactly.
You could barely even hear me.
That's why I had to put my headphones on, because of that.
Right.
So yeah, exactly. And rainy season can be very dangerous if you're not in a secure place. Back in 2017, we had a massive mudslide due to the rain. August 14, 2017, that's when we actually was the birth of our Be Clean campaign. We lost, the number reached over 1,000 people. A whole community was really buried under a mountain that collapsed from the rain. So it can be very dangerous here. There's slum communities, or deprived communities here that get, when the rain comes, there's no gutter system. They literally, their houses are filled with water. So it can be really dangerous. We've been fortunate to, right now we live on the third floor. We live up the mountain, so we're on a slope. So the water goes that way,
Right.
So we're kind of cool, but it can be very dangerous. And like I said, the Be Clean campaign, our initiative, that's an actual international initiative, started because of that mudslide and the people being concerned with so many people missing, so many bodies missing. They were scared that the water sources were going to get contaminated from the bodies and spread cholera. So it was actual scare for the country, and especially here in Freetown. So, those are real issues.
What people don't seem to realize is that these are not things that you can prepare for. You can't prepare for, like, one of the people that I interviewed, she was saying how she wasn't prepared for the infrastructure. Yeah, we know that there's bad roads. We know that there's the power issues. We know that the internet is spotty at times, depending on where you are. We understand those things. But when you move into the place, I'm sure nobody could have prepared you for what it was going to be like to experience 1,000 people dying in a mudslide, and there was nothing. I mean, how could you have prepared for that?
Listen, even the people, when it happened, I remember a lot of our members had came to visit that day, and they were so numb. It's like they're used to things happening, tragedies happening, and I had tears in my eyes. I was just so sad because the whole country stood still when it happened. It was like something we did not believe. And the way that the people responded to it was so numb, I was like, oh my God,
and see that kind of experience, like that I could see somebody from here experiencing that and seeing the people just being like numb and having a flat affect about it and being like, what in the fuck is going on? Like, y'all, this don't matter.
You have to understand the country, the Sierra Leone. I don't know about any other country because I haven't lived in any other country. I have friends in various countries, but Sierra Leone has a long history with diaspora. We the first African diaspora to actually come back and permanently repatriate back to Africa, first and foremost. And so we have a long relationship. The reason that the people came back is because slave trading was vast here. A lot of the ethnic groups have memory that they passed down from generation about their ancestors going out to be enslaved. Slavery ended here officially in 1927. So you have to understand why they would behave like that. You know what I'm saying? Freetown, the original name of Freetown before it became Freetown was called Ramarong. Ramarong translates into the crying place because people would cry after their people get kidnapped from for slavery, and they would go to the coast because this is the Atlantic Ocean. We can see the Atlantic Ocean from our veranda, so they would come to cry for their people that was snatched away. So you have to understand the history here, the tragedies, the genetic memories, the oral history that's passed down. And then you come up to, the political, the tribal wars and, the politics. And then we go into the Civil War. That lasted for 11 years and up until 2002. After 2002, then we go into the Ebola outbreak. That we had the most casualties in Sierra Leone. Thank God my husband and our organization was able to sensitize people that we actually helped save lives. You know what I'm saying? Had he not been here, maybe, more lives would have been lost. His doctor actually, passed from Ebola. His doctor, nurse, and the lab tech guy from Ebola. So you have to understand a lot of tragedies happen close to people, to the point that they can't always be distraught. They understand it's sad, but when you're living here, you understand. You know what I'm saying? But a person on the outside looking in would be like, oh my God, offended. But once you examine the people, the history and things like that, and you will understand.
And I don't think people understand, like, for outsiders, for people who don't see themselves as African, it doesn't pain them as much as it does for us.
It's a disconnect.
They're completely disconnected. So when they come in and they're able to just live their lives and they're in situations where they can ignore
because they're not a part of the community. Their neighbors, child dying isn't impacting them. I don't care. They're not in the community. So when you detach yourself, Africa is a communal place, and we can't come here and act like the hood in America. My husband just said, you know how desensitized we are in the hood in America, how many killings, how many traumatic things are happening every day. You know where we're from. I'm from Chicago. You know, that moved to Milwaukee. I know my cousins all died from gun violence, unsolved murders. You know, a whole lot of my family members getting trapped. So to understand, if you're not in a community in America and can relate to them, ain't no way you're gonna come all the way to Africa and sympathize with the people here.
Right. But I think we have a better ability to sympathize than like the Europeans or the Asians or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, and
I agree.
And it's more. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, they say Africans are the humanists of the world. We're, the most humanitarian, the most communal and things like that. So I can understand that.
I just want, because it kind of bothers me when I hear people compare the way we see Africa and the way other people see Africa.
Right.
When we see, to me, and I'll only speak for myself. When I see Africa, I see home. I see the place where I want my children to grow up, and I want my children. I see myself as the first of however many generations. My family has been here for so many generations. Mm-hmm. I'm the first person of my family to return to the land.
Right.
I actually was able to take my mother with me to the land. So they don't understand that this is way more than I'm just moving to Africa for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so exactly.
I can't stress to our people more how they need to stop seeing us in the light like, oh, well, the white people come here and they do fine, and the Asian people come here and they do fine. Yeah, they do. They also have governments backing them. They got all kinds of grants because they don't come to Africa because they
individuals. They're coming as a collective with a collective interest that they're all striving for. We're the only ones coming back individually that's not on a united front and don't know where we are. We're all scattered. We're all in competition. When we're the ones that's out, that's returning, should be on a united front. We should all want the best for wherever we're going to be repatriating, whether it's Ghana, whether it's South Africa, wherever. We should all have associations. I know when Africans from the continent go to America, they join the association for their local, maybe a Nigerian association in Atlanta, where all Nigerians associate with themselves and collectively and doing things like that. But we're all individually scattered. It's crazy. No one comes. I'll say this. It's hard to find other people that's on the same journey as you, especially for Africa, because we've been brainwashed so much. I understand it. But when you know Africa is where I want to go, and I want to build Africa wherever I go for my family that's behind me, maybe they don't even know they want to come. Maybe they have negative thoughts in their mind right now, but down the line, maybe their children want to, Auntie Kenya went to Sierra Leone and she, established this for our family to come into, so that's really important because a lot of people don't have that vision. They don't even know what they want to do next year in America. So how do you think they're going to really foresee something like Africa where, it's developing, it's underdeveloped and yada, yada, yada. But that only means that we have a role to play and to do things. There's a lot of engineers. There's a lot of Black people with the skills Africa needs. And
exactly.
The Asians, the Lebanese, et cetera, are taking these Europeans are taking these contracts. Why aren't we coming to bid for these contracts to build up Africa? We have the skills.
We do have the skills. And I know one of the challenges that I have heard from our people is that we don't have the money. A lot of times these people actually have their government backing them. They can go to their government and say, hey, we're going to Africa. We want to open up a rubber factory.
And they have the support.
And they'll have the support. We, on the other hand, we're coming as me, my little self, and my let's say my group of people. We got let's say we have $1 million. We done collected $1 million. It's really not a lot of money when you're trying to build industry. And you have people who want us to come and do all of this work, but they don't understand that they don't
want to support. They want you to do the work, and once it's done, after you put all your blood, sweat, and tears, money, resources, time, and energy in it, they want to come and benefit from it. And you understand that's how it is but honestly, as you said, a lot of people have their governments backing them or private corporations that's backing them. Things like that. But I will say this, at least in Sierra Leone, it doesn't take a lot. A little bit can go a long way. And some of the industries that will benefit at least the country and maybe the region it wouldn't take much to build up, especially like technology. We don't have a lot of technology here, just to be able to, get some girls and young people on these computers and learning coding, get better electricity and things like that. Africa just needs to be more modernized. It doesn't need to be westernized. We don't need, to have the Western structure.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because one problem that I do have with our people is, for whatever reason, our people, both on the continent and coming there, have this strange reality that modernization means Western.
No.
Having certain things in place means Western. First of all, let's just roll it back a little bit and understand, why does the Western world have the modernization that it has to begin with?
They didn't
have the skills to do that. We modernized the Western world. So what do you mean? A lot of us, I believe, are kind of shocked. It's the ones of us who know ain't nobody living in, everybody not living in huts and all that stuff, and people ain't living in trees and shit. Like that. The ones of us who do have that understanding, I think it's kind of shocking that Africa isn't as modern as they would think it would be. Like, how is it that all of the intricate parts for modernization come out of Africa, but Africa don't have it?
Right. Listen. My husband was just telling me that a brother from Nigeria created the internet. And I know that a brother from Ghana created fiber optic system. So why don't we have internet and fiber optic systems in every country in Africa after 50, 60, 70? You understand?
And why don't
they're creating that in the West and making the West stronger.
Exactly. And they
should be coming back to Africa and teaching the local people how to run fiber optics and do internet and do coding and everything. They have the first responsibility. This is home.
And that's why I get so agitated by people making those kinds of comments. 'Cause stuff like solar farms. Why in the hell would we not have completely set up solar systems.
Exactly. We're the closest to the equator. We're the closest to the sun.
We're closest to the sun. Why aren't we using that as our means of energy? Why are you? Why we have
the water crisis? The water crisis don't make sense. You hear the rain outside? We have a rainforest. Sierra Leone we have a high volume of water that rains every year. We should have water harvesting. We shouldn't have no problem with water.
All West African countries have rainforests. All of them got rainforests. I don't understand why we have water issues. We know that we have a wet season and we have a dry season. Why aren't we prepared for the dry season before it gets here after all of these years? And speaking of which, you know, for me, I get upset when our people make excuses. We make so many excuses. For instance, let's say Ghana. Ghana only been a independent state for so many years. Okay, so has Singapore. So has other places.
China.
Look at Dubai. Right. Like these people have been they've been independent from colonial rule for about the same time, if not less. So why is it that they can move forward, but we're not moving forward? Why are we continuing to allow ourselves to be put in to be subjugated to these marginalized positions in our own spaces? And that is these are some of the reasons that I know of people who have come, they've brought maybe 60, 70, 80, $100,000. They get taken for everything they got, and they end up leaving disgruntled. For one, because they make it even hard for us to get in, like do businesses and all of this other stuff. And then you look at these other folks, they come in because they got millions and millions of dollars. They're just allowed to come in and open up anything they want to and treat the people any kind of way. And then we sitting there looking like, well, I guess I might as well going back to America then.
That goes back to the thing about building the proper relationships and stop trying to do things under the table. You know, that can hurt us a lot of times. If it sounds too good to be true, 9 times out of 10, it's too good to be true. You're gonna get got. You're gonna get got first and foremost. So you need to be with organizations of people that has a rep that can be held accountable. You know, if you're trying to buy some land or something, get you a lawyer, get you somebody that's in a law firm that can be held accountable. Don't get your great, my uncle, my dad's brother, he got some land. Don't do it like that. Do it straight up.
You got to do it the right way.
They gotta do it straight up. Exactly, because you're gonna run back this run to and discourage everybody else that want to come. You know, and I'll just say this, going back to where you say the people like from, the Arab countries and people from, Asian countries are coming back and, they're building up their, first and foremost, all of them got one thing in common. They're all getting their raw resources from Africa, the Asians, the Arabs, the Europeans. They all got that in common, first and foremost. What I'm saying? And they all have different systems. They're coming from the Africans are still working the colonial government system that they put in place for us. So we're never going to have the upper hand. We're always going to be subjugated to their system. It's never going to work in our favor, first and foremost. And we're all being brainwashed. Black people, African people in the States or in the diaspora, and the African people over here. It's always some kind of far out stereotype that they have about us and we have about them. You know what I'm saying? So I think building the proper relationships, being able to educate ourselves. I always encourage us that's in the diaspora. We have a continental community, immigrant community. Get with them, patronize their businesses, learn their culture, and things like that. So you will be more familiar with them, with the culture. That's what I did. I had places, restaurants that I went to that was African owned, stores, shops. I always would get invited to, little cookouts that they have, and, things like that. So I can understand the culture more. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand, as you said before, they're coming here for a whole different reason.
Exactly.
And, the organized, I'm married to an organizer. So I always see the error in us not uniting on at least the things that would benefit us across the board, whatever country we go to. There's no way that right now, as we know it, all these African repatriates in the last 20, 30 years, there's been more repatriates coming back than there ever has been before. And we still you'll see people battling. It's sad. It's sad.
It's really sad because what I've seen is not just us from here, it's also the European Africans, the Caribbean Africans, people will try to make it seem like it's just us, but in all actuality, it's a lot. The problems are vast, and we have to somehow reel it in. And speaking of reeling it in, maybe a year or so ago, I became a little knowledgeable of an organization called the Exodus Alliance.
Okay, the Exodus Alliance, yes. And Basani is part of the Alliance.
I wanted you to tell me, how did the Exodus Alliance happen, and what is that?
Okay, so the Exodus Alliance is an alliance with various different African organizations, some in America, some organizations here that was established by the diaspora, like our organization, the Black Star Action Network International, Basani for short. Brother RJ Mahdi in Senegal actually presented the idea, to my husband. After COVID happened, there was a influx of inquiries with people that had their eyes set on Africa. And so to kind of foresee the, rush of people, we wanted to get a united front with organizations that was actually putting in the work. So our organization was invited to come on board, the Made in Africa Project, which is RJ and Sister Leah's organization in Senegal, Sister Ya in Ghana, the SHRAP program, the UNIA-ACL in the United States. I think the state of Africa, I forget the other organizations, but we all came together on a united front to put something in place for the diasporas that want us to actually come back and live, invest, or come for a tour in Africa. And so that we can all get training, because one of the issues that we saw was other people coming to Africa and having issues with the people here, voicing their disdain and being, very disrespectful to other people, culture and things like that where they were located. So that was a problem. You want to have people come in so they can be culturally sensitive and learn, be one with the people. You don't want to come and talk about the place and be, just be discussing. We know better than that. We got home training. We Black in America. So there is no excuse to be belligerent because you got a camera in your face on YouTube. That is totally unacceptable. Our parents and grandparents taught us better than that.
Exactly.
So, Brother RJ, we did training over the course of weeks where we actually learn etiquettes and how to transition people and how to tour people and how to look for places and align people with the different agencies that they need to be aligned in. And we actually was trained to do that. So we were on the organizations that actually did this training that's within an alliance, and we did that. We officially signed the MOU back up, I believe, about April 2020.
That's pretty cool. I was so happy when I saw you all coming together like that. My introduction to you all was when there was some conflict happening in the Gambia, and and you all did the mediation. You guys did that mediation. Because on my channel, I never addressed what was going on with that stuff because that was a lot. So
it was a lot of propaganda, and actually from the outside looking in, you would think certain people was really the blame, but after further investigation, it was a whole rabbit hole. I'll tell you that.
I was just really glad to see, because I never really dug into it to see like what happened and who did what and who said what. I never really got into it because I was so just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And I had gotten word that there was a meeting in a governmental meeting in Sierra Leone, and they brought up the video.
Yes.
And
yeah.
When that happened, I was just like, oh my God. I'm like, so
it happened. I was there.
People have to understand that.
It was shameful. It was shameful. It was so embarrassing. I'll tell you that.
It was.
Because we work with, the government and the grassroots. So they know us to be, upstanding people. They know we respect the people, and the people respect us. So to have one of our own come here and act like that, I was surprised they even brought it up in the meeting. And I just hung my head in shame. And my husband said, ain't no way you can fart in Gambia and we smell it in Sierra Leone. It's a problem.
It's a problem. And see, I think that is part of the reason why I wouldn't say anything about it on my YouTube channel, because I didn't want to help fan the fire.
You didn't want to even, bring anyone from your platform over to that mess.
Yeah, and it's what's crazy is like, because Africa, especially West Africa, I can speak for West Africa when I say this, it's very communal. So, and everybody knows everybody. And even like, for instance, I lived in Conakry for almost 2 years, and my assistant, although he was Ghanaian, he was also Sierra Leonean also. So he went back and forth.
It's a lot of mixture. Oh my God, you will be surprised how many of these other Nigerians with Liberians, with Sierra Leoneans, with Gambia. Oh my God,
it's a lot of mixing, and I think it's pretty cool. But like people don't understand how small things are. Like these countries are really like states for us.
Exactly.
It's like really small. Like
Yeah.
you literally can drive from Sierra Leone into Conakry without a big issue, or from Liberia to Guinea, or like all of these countries you can get to relatively
very
easy.
close. Yes,
they're very close. So like even recently, speaking of which, there had been some uprising or protesting in Sierra Leone, and I had reached out to Fode, and I was asking him, was y'all okay? You know, whatever. And the reason why it's so important, I brought this up because the reason why it's so important for us to have people on the ground was because when I saw it, the first thing I thought about was, Fode in Kenya, let me make sure that they straight. And I told Fode, if y'all needed to get out of there, like I was asking him how do he feel like it may be going and all of that stuff. And he was like, no, I'm not worried or whatever. And I said, well, if y'all need to get out, I have a brother in Conakry, and he has family in Sierra Leone. So if y'all need to dip out real quick, holla at me. I'm gonna go ahead and let him know that I got some people in Sierra Leone who may, if things go left, I might need some help. We might need some help.
Right.
I reached out to him. I told him, I said, hey, I got my brother and sister in Freetown, and if things keep escalating, I may need you to send somebody to get them, to bring them to Conakry right quick for me. And he was like, sure. He sent me his brother number. He was like, if we need to, whatever we need to do, we got him or whatever. And this is a part of building the relationship.
Exactly.
You know, because you don't these are still countries that can be kind of volatile at times, and it can be unstable at times. So me just being who I am, I was like, shoot, let me see, what can I do? So that's why I reached out to Fode, and I was like, hey, I don't know what's going on. He told me that it was rough, but it wasn't as bad as they was making it seem to be. And he was like, but I appreciate you looking out. And I'm like, well, if it get bad, just know that I got a connection in Conakry, and we'll make some things happen.
So thank you, sis, for that.
Absolutely. We have to look out for each other. Like it's still not a lot of us. While it is a lot of us in West Africa, it's still not a lot of us. So it's important for us to
network and build relationships with one another, because you never know what happened. You never know what will happen. And you're right. It actually, what happened was a couple of weeks ago, they did have a little riot and things like that. It was not as bad as it was portrayed to be, because it was real small. It was little pockets, in certain locations. And I will say that it got handled, it got under control really quickly. So they had to, restrict movements. We had curfews for a few days, but after that, about 2.5 days. After that, we were free to move, but we didn't know what was going on. Because of what was sparking it was, fortunately, it wasn't as bad as it, was. Everything is like back to normal now. It was a little tense. It was a little tense when it happened.
I was in Guinea when it got kind of rough in Guinea while I was there. I wasn't there when the coup d'etat happened, but I was there during the time preceding. You could see that tension was rising, and it was about to get rough. And the truth of the matter is, I wouldn't have had nobody to really. All I had was my people who was in Guinea. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that was what made me like, okay, let me call them, because I remember how I felt I remember
Yes,
how
when
I
it
felt being
happened.
there and being in a position where I didn't know what was going on. I stayed in the house for like 4 days and
Mm.
because the stuff was happening right around my area. So I
Okay.
was just like, I don't even know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. But, it ended up not being as bad as it felt to me. Like somebody, I don't,
Exactly.
I was just like, what's going on? What's going on? And, we being from America, the movies that we see, the propaganda that we're fed, my little mind was just like, oh Lord, they gonna start cutting off arms and shit in a minute. So, I don't think like I know that our continental kin don't understand like there's a lot of stuff that we've been fed. So to be able to, although you've been fed, especially Sierra Leone, like
Yes.
I know many people probably like, why y'all going to the blood diamond
Yes.
place?
Oh
Why
my God.
y'all
Let
going
me
there?
tell you, a lot of a lot of other continental Africans that migrated to America when I was in Milwaukee, because I was in Milwaukee for 15, 20 years. So I would mingle with a lot of African groups within Milwaukee. Every time I would tell them I was going to repatriate to Sierra Leone, and they were like, they couldn't believe why they clutched their pearls right there. You know what I'm
Oh my
saying?
God.
It was one shop I went to that said something positive about Sierra Leone, and there was a Guinean shop. I went there looking for something, and I told them, I was, going to go to Sierra Leone, and the brother was like, Sierra Leone, they got the best palm oil in West Africa. I said, really? They said they got the best palm oil. They got the best palm oil in West Africa. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I'm so glad that we was able to have this conversation because there's so much that our continental kin don't seem to understand that it take a lot to for some of us it don't take nothing at all. But for people to even consider going to Africa, when you see stuff like Beast of No Nations and
Yes, oh my God.
all of the movies that we hold on. So yeah, I was saying that I don't think that our continental siblings understand the kind of things that we're fed. We see every time when we see Africa, they just say Africa. They don't name the country. They
Right.
don't.
It's so
They don't
broad. It's so broad.
the South of Sudan. They don't say Ethiopia. They don't say Ghana or Nigeria. They just say Africa. So historically, well in my history, all I remember growing up when I would see those commercials for feed the hungry children in Africa. You got
with the
these
big
little
bellies and the flies.
and
Yeah.
their eyes and all of this stuff. Then you have, if it wasn't that, then it was the conflicts. Oh my God, they talked about the conflicts in the Congo and the conflict in Nigeria and the conflict
Conflicts,
in
Algeria, Sierra Leone, and
everywhere.
Liberia.
All we got whole
Burkina Faso, and yeah,
movies just feeding us
Rwanda,
negative,
Rwanda.
all of that. Because and what people don't know, what a lot of them don't seem to understand is that first of all, is they use us going back to Africa as a negative. Like, oh, yeah, we'll take it. Well, go on to go back to
Africa. Yeah.
Africa. That shit is that's supposed to be an insult to us.
Right.
They don't seem to understand that just what you have to go through with your family when you saying I'm moving to Africa. They like, why would you go there? You know, they cut people's hands off and they cut feet off and
Yes.
they will beat you and they will do this and they will do that to you. I've even heard of people saying they eat people. There is no recorded history of Africans being cannibalistic.
I'll say this.
Yeah, Europeans do that.
Yes, exactly. Let me tell you, there is. I'm trying to say. I'll say this. So there is cannibalism in a ritualistic type of way. It isn't the same. Like when you look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, you look at Jeffrey Dahmer. Like there's tribes here, like the Mende, things like that. That was happening hundreds of years ago during warfare to like instill like psychological, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at people like Jeffrey Dahmer and things like that, it's a whole different thing. Like they have a history for fetish reasons and things like that. Yeah.
That part. And that is the thing that, the propaganda that we get fed, like even the propaganda that they get fed, like I get people making comments about, they just like how, and they love to use Chicago. And it's amazing. I know so many people from Chicago who, yes.
Okay, is there a lot of people in Chicago and Ghana?
It's like, I know off the top of my head, I know five families that moved from Chicago to Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of, I feel like I know more people from Chicago and Ghana than anything else. But, people try to use, first of all, they try to use Chicago like Chicago is all of America. And second of all, people don't even understand that it's just one portion of Chicago that they have such a big issue out of.
Exactly.
And then, they try to use this, well, y'all killing each other. Yeah, people kill each other in America. America is a
Africa. They kill themselves in Africa. Come on now, let's be real. This is a human thing. This is not
fortunately a human thing.
It's right.
It's just like people try to
they don't know how to use conflict resolution. They resort to their emotions and anger. Exactly.
And instead of, for whatever reason, our continental kin tend to, all of those white talking points, I have seen it. Like, y'all lazy. How slaves lazy? How people who was enslaved are lazy? I'm like, and they have a reverence for white people that's just
exactly. Oh my God!
This reverence.
I once invited one sister in my neighborhood to my organization. I told her we're gonna have a women's meeting for our women's affairs committee, and she was invited. You know what she asked me? She said, "Is there any white people in your organization?" I said, "No." She didn't come. Is there any white people in your organization? No. All Black everything.
I'm trying to learn how to not get so frustrated. Because it makes me so frustrated. Because I feel like it's like two ships passing in the night. It's like, are y'all like, come on, y'all, like, we not them, and we not coming for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, what is this thing where people feel like it's wrong for folks to want to be comfortable? Like, Why
It isn't.
why would I want to come to Africa and not be comfortable?
Right.
I don't want to live the American dream. I want to live the African dream.
Right.
And that doesn't mean that I need, but we think modernization is, there's nothing wrong with modernization.
It isn't.
What is that? But I can go on and on about that all night. I know it's getting late there. What you got going on? Let's talk about your organizations, your projects, whatever it is you want to put out there, and let us know how we can support too.
So we have a few organizations. Our parent organization, which is Basani, behind me, the Black Star Action Network International, was founded in 2009 by my husband. We repatriated or made it international in 2013. He made his repatriation. We're grassroots community, Garveyite or Pan-African organization. We believe in sustainability and self-realization and doing for self. So that's why we are real big on human development, community volunteerism, because with us doing it together, it sets a tone for the other community, the rest of the community that isn't involved, to want to get involved and to know that certain things that you can do by yourself without waiting for the government, you can alleviate a lot of things that's plaguing you in your local communities if you volunteer. Take an hour or two a week and get to work, and it will assist in the full community, not just your household. So Basani is our Pan-African organization, and then we do have a heritage-based organization, which is here in Sierra Leone. It's called the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone, and the mission was actually created by Ganona, which I should have said Ganona first, because Ganona, which is the Gullah Nation of North America, was founded in 2015. So, and that's a heritage-based organization. As I said in the beginning of this interview, how Gullah Geechee people and Sierra Leone connect. So this organization was put together to actually build mend the severed ties that we experienced by the transatlantic slave trade, and to just rebuild that connection. And Ganona actually created the Gullah Redemption Mission Sierra Leone, and that's our mission work. We do things like our Be Clean campaign. We have a program that's called the Tools and Seeds Farmers Assistance Initiative or project, where we work with communities to help them farm. Food security is an issue here, especially now that COVID has happened. So a lot of people have land. They have the skills for farming, but they don't have the tools and the seeds. So we assist communities with that. And we have a lot of different communities that we assist with the cleanups. We do trainings. We do hygiene and sanitation workshops, and that's really important, because a lot of the waterborne diseases can be prevented by just cleanliness. Knowing how to wash your hands, when to wash your hands, how to be sanitized. We teach hygiene, which is personal, and sanitation, which is public. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to blame the government for a lot of things, but the government ain't throwing trash in the street. We are. You understand? So it's our job to pick it up and make sure everybody stay on code and they pick it up, so we can alleviate the malaria, from the filth and things like that. So we're trying to educate people on a social level to do simple things that will improve their lives and save their lives, especially for children 5 and under. They're the most impacted.
Right. Wow. Like I am, I feel like a lot of times our people, we don't talk a lot about the things that we do in Africa. There's a lot of real work being done in Africa. And I feel like we really need to start being more vocal about the things that we do, because it seems as if, you know, we come from a space where it's like, we don't want to talk about it. We just want to be about it, right? But I think it does us a disjustice in Africa, because people don't know what we're doing. People don't know that we are like really out here doing like impactful work. And they just look to these other people and they see these other people who coming in to take something.
Exactly.
And whatever charity they give is not because they love you. It's because they want something from you. And we're coming in with we trying to get in where we fit in and help out and be a part of the community and be a part of building something better. And
so that their children and our children can have something better to come to. You understand?
Exactly.
It isn't just about us. A lot of people are so self-centered, and the West has taught us to be selfish people, individual people. We're the most, and that's one of the best things about me coming to Africa is I see so many families working together despite their differences. You know, maybe you all know your auntie Awa is at odds with auntie Amanessa.
Right.
You still see them working together, but we have a hard time doing that. You know what I'm saying? We try, you know, here you'll see they try to put the collective first versus those individuals. If somebody is really selfish, they'll get expelled from the family. They don't got no problem, you know, saying, you go. You can't come around here. We have a problem with that in America. We know maybe our family member ain't right, and we still allow them around our kids and still just for the sake of. But you know, so just those examples.
Yeah, and you know, and I appreciate that so much. I think another thing that before I let you go is I want our people to understand that we are, like for instance, in my family, I will be the first generation repatriate, right?
Me, same here.
So I can't be expected to lose everything that I've known and my family has known for 400 years. That's just going to go away because I landed in Africa. It doesn't happen that way. What I do hope to happen is that maybe in the next generation, because I have children that are from the continent, and those children will grow up in the environment and understand both sides of this, so that we can continue to integrate back onto the continent. It's not going to happen just not going to happen just out of the thin blue sky.
No, it can't. And
just can't.
We've been lied to. We have a lot of work to do with that in ourselves, especially when we come. A lot of things you don't really know about yourselves until you come to Africa. Exactly. You were like, oh, I ain't know that. I ain't had that. I know I had that. I know I had that in me.
It's funny you say that, because I tell everybody who come to me with wanting to move to Africa, I tell them, remember now, you take yourself with you. And what happens when you get in Africa is now you have a peace of mind, and you got time to actually figure out who you really are. And it might not always be good what you find out about yourself, because you don't have all of the distractions. You don't have you're not getting up and going to work at 9 o'clock and
Exactly.
Be home at 5, cook, clean, do all the things you have to do around the house, and then get up and do it again. You don't have that distraction anymore. So now you have to really face yourself. You have to really deal with the traumas, deal with, I didn't realize until I got to Africa how much PTSD I have from this place. I didn't realize how just seeing blue lights make me jumpy. It makes me jittery.
Hearing the exhaust backfire on a bike. Oh, there ain't no gun.
You like, hey.
I swear, girl, man.
It is so much unlearning that we have to do. And I said that to say, but our continental, I implore our continental kin to extend us some grace and understand that we're literally coming out of, we've been in this war for 400 and some years now. So we're not going to be, some of us integrate really easily, really well.
Right.
Really, really well with it. And some of us don't do as well as we thought we would do. And we end up kind of in a situation like, oh, I thought I was adaptable. I thought I could.
Yes.
I thought that you don't even realize that, oh my God, I'm not the person that I thought I was.
I swear. Exactly. Wait, I'm not the person that I thought I was. That's exactly.
So then you begin to have to really work on.
Listen, I really had to reevaluate my life and my values and morals on a few occasions because my husband is way different than me. Like, I'd be like, man, I want to be like you when I grow up because I ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like the prototype. You know, everybody should be like him.
He is.
And I'm still work. I'm a work in progress.
We have several people who have done such a good job integrating into the countries, the African countries that they moved to. It's just, I look at Fode and RJ and Obadale and certain people, I'm just like, dang, like I want to be like y'all when I grow up. Like, this is, but I also think it comes with, like, these are very like alpha type men too. So
yes.
They're gonna they're gonna do well wherever they go. And it's easy to follow their lead too.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
You know, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. Right.
But I really, really appreciate you. Give us, how do we contact Basani? How do we contact any of your organizations? How do we help? Like, how do we get down with y'all?
So we're always looking for like-minded members that agree with the mission. If you want to join Basani, you can go to basani.org, BSANI.org, and contact us there. You can visit our Facebook page, Black Star Action Network International, or put in Basani. For our Gullah or heritage-based organization, the Gullah Nation of North America, you can visit our Facebook page at Gunona or Gullah Leone. So Gullah Leone or Facebook, and GullahLeone.org on the website. You can join at there, or you can contact us on IG, Gullah Leone. We do have a Facebook, a YouTube page at Gullah House Media. You can check out our work there. And myself, if you want to contact me, I'm on Facebook. I do have a like page at Kenya Malinke Mansare, the same as here. Just type that in, you'll get me.
Great. Sis, man, I have
Oh,
enjoyed.
wait. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay.
Our business. We do have a business where you can do consultations if you want to plan a tour. We do mission trips, and that's Gulladugu, GULLAHDUGU.com. You can book a consultation or visit our Facebook page. It's the same place, Gulladugu. Thank you.
Great. Sis, I really appreciate you taking the time. I've been wanting to get with you for a minute.
I know, right?
We finally was able to do this, and I could not be happier with the conversation that we've had today. You are such a wealth of knowledge, and just the fact that you've been on the continent for almost 7 years straight. Yeah. No America. I take my hat off to you.
Thank you.
Because I know being away from family and those kinds of things can kind of pull you a little bit at times.
Yeah.
We do what we have to do. Thank you and Fode, the work that y'all are doing in Sierra Leone, the way y'all going heavy for our people with citizenship and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
I just love everything that y'all are doing. And
thank you.
I can support y'all. If you ever want to come back on to just put something out there, if you got an ad or something, or a commercial or something you want me to run on my channel, whatever you need me to do,
I got
so
you.
I can support y'all.
Thank
am
you.
here to support y'all. I love y'all. Tell Fode I said, hey.
Okay.
And we will.
Know.
If you are still here after this great conversation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go over to I'll put all of the links to contact Kenya in the description. Get out here. Let's do some work. Let's continue to build and repatriate to Africa. This has been Bakita Muhammad with Breaking the Chains. Thank you again, Kenya, for taking the time to.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I appreciate you. And I'm out.
Peace.